Okay, is that better? Okay, that should be better. Let me know if you've got sound or if it's just the camera, because what I'm doing is I'm checking this thing out. Okay, both are good. All right, I've got this cheap camera thing that had a mic. I was gonna get a headset, but I move around a lot, and I kind of need something right over the stove to do any cooking live, that sort of thing. And I've hardly ever in my life used an actual computer. By the time it got to where I needed to use a computer for anything, cell phones had already gotten to the point that they were computers. And, well, I just use my phone if I needed one. And I have this ancient computer that's got Windows 7. Yes, holy deep fry. Exactly what it is. Here's a tip: if you want to deep fry wings or something like this, once they start floating, they're done. I need to make myself some coffee because I forgot to fix myself something to drink. It's adding one new little step to something, you know? Add another little step, and so it's just kind of awkward. And hopefully, I don't burn anything. Where's my coffee cup? I gotta find my coffee cup. But also, I went by this place yesterday, and this stuff is really good if you can get it. Old Humble Distilling Company. I went by his actual distillery, and I think he was doing a live chat while he was doing bottles and everything, and he pulled this one out and he signed it for me. And as you can see, I tried some last night and it's really good. And by the time I finished, I don't think I could feel my legs or my face. I was like really lit, but it's good. So I don't drink that often just because I drive a truck for a living, and that makes it really hard to do anything like that. I'd share if I could, but if you can get to a Specs, they sell it at Specs. Not sure exactly where else though. Back here. This is kind of more of what I'm wanting to do. This isn't as complicated, but I could burn it real quick if I'm not careful. Um, you know how grease is, everything else. You don't want to play with the chicken too much and knock the crust off of it and all kinds of mistakes. It's just kind of leave it alone for a little bit. Should take about 10 minutes. Like this is a boneless thigh there. And maybe 10-12 minutes. The leg, probably about 14. So I'm fixing to take this one out. But I'm wanting to have like all the ingredients already made and ready. I grew up watching like, if anyone wants to hop in here and help watch the chat, that would be awesome. But I grew up watching like, Julia Child, Justin Wilson, the Frugal Gourmet, which meant I did not have cable because we were poor and we had PBS. And that's pretty much just what I had, and I would watch those with my mom and my stepfather. And my stepfather really liked Justin Wilson. I think my mom really liked Frugal Gourmet. And I think Martha Stewart was something that rich people watched. I don't know. She's kind of cool though. She got cooler with age, especially because she did her time, and when everybody else was trying to get out of stuff like that, and she just did her time, and she probably, I think she came out more popular than she was before she went in. You know, maybe people could learn from that. A chicken and waffles episode would be fun. Yes, it probably would. Oh, I had a little too much batter on that one. It is what it is. And of course, doing things live, there's no retake, there's no anything. But I think I'm a little bit more comfortable just kind of rambling or talking to someone. Let's see, is there some else in here? Not yet. Okay. Than just trying to like film and think of what to say and all that good sort of stuff. I used the computer for the first time last night in Honda's chat to get it hooked up and try to test this out. And so now I'm testing it while cooking. And this one should be done. That one's been in buttermilk. This one hasn't. The batter has buttermilk in it, but this one was marinating. I've got a bunch of them that were marinating in buttermilk. And what I did for the buttermilk fried chicken was basically I took a quart of buttermilk and a whole thing of like habanero Tabasco. One of these. And you're not really going to taste it. The buttermilk kind of cancels out the heat, but there'll be a little, not much. And it's distributed throughout all the liquids. So, and it kind of soaks and gives it a little bit more flavor. And it marinates in there with a little salt, of course. And about 4 hours, you can let it sit overnight. If you're going to cook it for lunch, you want to start it at breakfast. If you're going to cook it for dinner, like buttermilk fried chicken, you want to start that probably, ready? I think you go in there a little bit longer. It's not dark enough. Start it at lunch if you're going to cook it for dinner because you need it to marinate. You also want your chicken kind of warmed up. You don't want to put it cold into the grease because it's going to lower the temperature of your grease. My grandmother was much better at this than I am. She would have like a little grease in the pan and she'd just keep turning the chicken, and it just came out awesome. But she learned how to do all this without all the fancy hardware we have now, like thermometers and things. I mean, they had them, but I doubt they used them. And I'm getting pop-ups on the computer. Okay, let me go back to the chat over here on my phone so I can see it better. Okay, what's not too distracting? I don't think that one's going to be any darker. That is definitely done. So I need another piece of chicken. Legs still have the skin on, and thighs don't. I put a little bit of the buttermilk batter in with here with the eggs. Because honestly, that's all my grandmother really did frying chicken was she cracked some eggs and, you know, salt and pepper and maybe a little cayenne or something like that in the flour. And she just fried them. And if you look up all these recipes and stuff online, and it's like 50 million spices in there that you technically don't need. I mean, you can, but I think it kind of complicates things a little bit too much. You're just wanting fried chicken, something that, you know, it tastes good, it hits that spot, kind of like, you know, chicken and waffles or something like that. And at a certain point, you kind of get into too much preparation. And you can also do this with a bag. Like take one of the gallon size bags and put your flour in it and shake it up and get it all over the chicken. But I've got limited space in here. So it is what it is. And we're going to put another piece of chicken in here. Move that. Move that. I have cats on the other counter. They're all interested in what I'm doing. So I'm trying to figure out where to put everything and how all that would work. Make sure you get the flour all over all of it. Kind of shake it off. I probably should have cut that one. But it is what it is. And when you put it in there, it's going to lower the temperature of your grease. And it'll have to build back up a little bit. I don't want to put too much chicken in there at once. I brought probably about 12 legs and maybe about 8 thighs in separate packages. I'd say that costs about 15 bucks. Everything's kind of expensive. At least I could find it though. I've been having problems in the grocery store where I can find close to what I'm looking for, but I can't find exactly what I'm looking for. If that makes any sense. It's like um, you can, you're looking for marjoram and you can find oregano. They're in the same family, they're nearly the same plant, one sweet, one savory. Or you're looking for dark rye bread, you can find rye bread, but you can't find dark rye bread. And it's like they want to pull everything to the front and make their shelves look as full as possible. And they're pulling everything forward with all the stuff that no one's buying, you know, or not buying as much of. So the stuff they're out of stock is getting replaced with the stuff that's not being bought as much to kind of pull things forward and make their shelves look fuller. I'm going back and checking the chat every once in a while here. Yes, selection is slim here too. Chicken is about double what it was. Yeah, everything's about double what it was. It's gonna be in here for about 14 minutes or so. I'm not gonna fry up a whole bunch. I got some that I'm gonna fry later that I've got ready. And just a little small batch of chicken, and I'm checking everything out to see how this is going to work. And I'm going to go back and listen to the audio and see if it's okay with me walking away from the stove and walking back to it. And because the audio is bad, I'm not going to know. I don't know how to do all that checking everything without a headset or something, or even with a headset, I wouldn't know. I think some of y'all have like the headsets and all that where you can hear your own audio, kind of like talk back on a CD, and you can check everything. And I don't have that, and I wouldn't know how to do it with a computer. So what I have is what I have. I'm gonna check my temperature here. I don't even know if y'all can see that. Should be up somewhere between like 325 and 350. I like the manual ones better. Let's see how much it dropped the temperature there. It's like slowly down there around 260, 270, and it'll start picking back up. It's like 253 right now. And it'll get back up to about 325, what have you. I need to turn it up a little bit. And get my temperature back up where it should be. So, like I said, the more chicken you put in there, the lower, because your chicken's colder than the grease. You know, it's that where things take the temperature. What do they call that? I don't know. It's you put something colder with something hot. The hotter it gets colder, the colder it gets warmer. One of those things. Okay, speak up just a bit when you turn away. Okay. It's showing top chat 0. I need to put it on live chat on this one. Can't stand it anymore. Got to get something to eat. Okay, well, thank you. Now, if I was doing this in a cast iron skillet, which I may do later, I'll show how to do gravy. Um, it's not that hard. It's like a roux or anything else. It's flour in a pan with the grease. Put enough flour in until it looks right. Then you've got gravy. Like if you have mashed potatoes or something like that, you can pour the gravy over your mashed potatoes. Which I'm trying to figure out what I want to fix with the chicken this evening. But I'm also trying to figure out where everything is in relation to the camera. My lovely wife is cleaning, so if you hear noise in the background, that's her. Or occasionally the dog and the cats get into it. I have one cat, Chloe, that will go head to head with a full-grown mastiff, and she does not give a damn. And the other one just hisses at him and gets on something high. Usually while she goes down low and starts coming at him with the claws. I think they're teasing him. I mean, because they'll act like they want to play with them, and they're all nice, and they'll get down on the counter, and he'll walk up to the counter, they're nose to nose with them, and they're meowing, and it's like they want to play with them, and all of a sudden they come with a right claw to the nose, and he yelps and goes after them, and they hop up on something high laughing at him. Oh, tacos. Yes. I'm wanting to do my mom's taco recipe at some point, and she does it better than me, just because she's my mom. And I'm trying to talk her into letting me cook it with her, but I don't know if she'll let me do that. That would be awesome. They're getting about done. You see how they're kind of starting to float? I don't know what happened with my timer. I had a I was trying to use a timer so I could keep track of the time because I'm trying to film and do this at the same time. No collard greens and watermelon today. I could do collard greens. Um, I'm just cooking to be cooking and trying this out. See how everything turns out with the video. Because then when I'm cooking something like, oh, chicken paprika soup, and I can have all the onions ready and a little oil in the pan. I can put the onions in there and saute them down and, start putting everything in there and the chicken and let it boil down. Um, but I think I'd have to already have part of it done, like maybe start a little ways into it and explain, because that's going to take a while unless someone wants to do a chat for 2 hours, or maybe make batches on like two smaller batches or something. I think that's what they did on those shows, where they would start it, like, he's making gumbo or something, and he gets everything started, but he's already got this pot over there on the side that's already started. So once he gets to a certain point, he moves that to another burner, and then you start it on like the second one, because it would just take too long. And that might not be a bad idea. It would be a good sweetener. I wouldn't use a whole lot of it because you want it to kind of hold together. It would only work with a lot. I've never done that. It's good with cornbread. But honey is a good sweetener. If you want to try that, try a little bit and just mix a little bit in and see how it turns out before you make a whole batch of it. And if you do, let me know how that turns out. If you can hear me there. I got a cell phone on one side. It's on YouTube with it on pause. That's it without that. I should have cut that one in half. Where is my salt shaker? I'm trying to figure out where everything is in relation to like the camera. There might be some things I don't want on screen, what have you. I have a small kitchen. It's tiny. And it's like, okay, what is it? My hand is here. And it's here. There's a stove. It's kind of trying to figure this out. I used the mic on this camera last night. I didn't use the actual camera. So this is the first time I've used the camera. And if you didn't know how to deep fry in a pan, that's how you deep fry in a pan. And if you want to check the temperature, see, it's more than done. I believe that needs to be like 170 degrees, somewhere around it there, and it's like 186 and climbing. So yeah, that's done. My mom had a bad experience frying chicken when she was younger. My grandmother went in the hospital, and my mom was about, I'd say, 12 years old, and she was cooking for the whole family, and she was so proud of the chicken that she was making, and the crust turned out beautiful, but she had her grease too high, and it was a bad experience for her. So after that, my mom would always have like a little piece of chicken that was cut somewhere to make sure that it was done. And that was just my mom. It's one of those, it's weird how things that happen when you're a child affect you even into your adulthood, where just little things like that. I mean, she cooked good chicken. Only difference really between hers and my grandmother's is my grandmother didn't cut anything to check and see if it was done. Yeah, if you're gonna add honey to that, I would just try a little tiny batch of it with just a little honey, because honey is a good sweetener, but I don't know what that's gonna do to your batter and in what quantity. Something you could try. Oh, also another trick, if you're using like a frying pan that has a lid and you don't use as much grease, is you can take the lid and you can put it over the pan, especially if it's got like a glass lid or something like that, and kind of get it hotter in there and get it hotter quicker. And You don't have to use as much grease, but you do have to turn it over a lot more often. The temperature of my grease is now. See, take the chicken out and it's 350. Actually, it's a little too hot. Not much. It's like 362. But that is something to remember when you're frying chicken, is when you put the chicken in there, don't put it in there cold right out of the fridge. Take it out of the fridge, I don't know, 45 minutes or so, maybe an hour. Don't leave it out long enough to get salmonella or something, just enough to, kind of get more room temperature. And then fry your chicken. That way you're not putting it into the grease basically ice cold. And because like I said, it's going to lower the temperature of your grease, and then you have to get the temperature of your grease back up. Oh God, that picked her favorite chicken. My mom had a similar story. I mean, I had chickens growing up until a tornado hit the coops, and I actually wouldn't eat chicken for a few years after that. That's a different story. But my mom had layers and stuff, and they had one hen that was laying triple yolks, and they were trying not to kill that one. And grandma's like, hey, we're cooking dinner and we're having chicken, so go get me a chicken. So they're trying not to kill that one. And what it ended up was the scrawniest hen that they had. I guess she was putting everything she had into those eggs. And of course, they killed that one thinking, that's not the one that's laying the triple yolks. And, well, it was. So they didn't have triple yolk eggs anymore after that. Okay. It's actually, I'm trying to figure this thing out. It's not showing anyone like on the number that's in the chat, but then I get comments. So every once in a while it'll show a 1. But there's only a few of you commenting anyway, so there's not that many. I don't know if you're going in and out. And this has been for 35 minutes so far. That's good. I'm about to talk myself out of breath. Still having lung issues from the COVID. And that just is what it is. And my mom has the same issues, and we're on the same medication now. And my wife, being a nurse, was awesome finding a coupon for it because it's like $700. And my wife is really, really good at finding ways to pay for things like that. A little coupon that covers the copay for a year or something like that. And she is awesome in that respect. Especially because that helped me and my mother out. So, chicken is fried. Is anyone still out there? Okay, now it says 2. It says 2 on one screen, and it says 0 on the other. So I guess if you're still out there, what did you think? Think there's anything I should change, or does that seem to work pretty good? I am going to watch this later, but Oh, barbecue was on here for a second. Okay. So what did you think of, well, I think DJ Play Nice might be the only one in here, maybe one other. But what did you think of filming like this? Any input is appreciated. Okay. The comments might be coming in late. I just got that. Well, thank you. Might take a little bit more practice. I just wanted to do this for a minute because I have a lot of things to do today. And I'm going to cook the rest of the chicken this evening when I figure out what I want to put with it. And it's going to be buttermilk fried chicken, which you just got a taste of because this one's buttermilk fried chicken, that one's buttermilk. Both of these were marinating in buttermilk. And these three were just regular fried chicken. And I did put some of the buttermilk in with the egg there. So they've got that little bit of buttermilk flavor, but these are regular. These are buttermilk fried chicken. It's not that hard. Oh, I had to buy tongs for the chicken. I've never understood these as something that's safe to use on a buffet because your hands are what's dirty. Everyone's grabbing the tongs. So their hands are dirty, now your hands are dirty. Now you go and you eat the same biscuit. Yeah, you eat the biscuit with the hand that just touched where their dirty hand touched. And I just don't eat the buffet. Not at the truck stop, at least. Okay, I'll have to go back in and put the recipe for the chicken and the batter and all that, I guess, after I post it. It might be a little while because we got some other things we're going to do, but I'll go back through and I'll post the recipe for my batter here and my flour and all that stuff. I'll put it in the description. I've got to figure out a good segue for coming on air and going off air that doesn't sound too corny, or maybe corny would work. I don't know. But I'm going to end the chat so that we can do the other things we need to do today. I have an extremely rare 2 days off work, which was yesterday and today. And we got to do some cleaning, and my son's wanting to go look at some stuff for motorcycles. And he's our youngest. He's 19, and I'm terrified, but I like motorcycles too. So did my one grandfather, so did my father, so did all my uncles, and I've been around them my whole life, and I guess that just is what it is. So he's going to do what he's going to do, and at least I'm involved in the decision at some point still. Turn my grease off there. But, alright, I'm going to end the live stream when I can figure out how to do this. And I thank everyone for showing up, and this was my first live stream cooking anything, so thank you so much, and I will be doing this again, and I will be doing another video probably in more detail cooking this evening. So I will let you go, and thank you so much for showing up.